Hello and welcome to the Bigger Room podcast. I'm your host, Mel Cobian.
And I'm Jill Bender, and today we're going deep. Maybe we'll see how it goes. So I was telling Mel that I had this incredible experience recently, and I hope that you guys can use it in your daily lives and use it for inspiration and motivation. So before we get started, Mel, you know about angel numbers?
I do.
Can you tell our listeners about angel numbers? What are they?
Angel numbers, what are they? So anytime you see numbers in a sequence of 3 or 4, such as 111, 222, 1111 is like one that people say, oh, it's 1111, make a wish, 333, 444, 555, and so on. They're called angel numbers because it's the way the universe is trying to communicate with you. And it's a branch of numerology. So if you then go on, if you start paying attention and you're doing something and you see, oh, it's 444, and it doesn't have to just be time. It can just be time is one of them. If you're like scrolling on social media and you see like certain numbers, anything that just where numbers will show up. What you want to do then is like just Google what is the numerology significance of 111 or 222 or whatever you're seeing, and each one has a different meaning.
Okay.
Yes, numerology.
So I had a really cool experience just happened to me the other day. For probably a week, I had been seeing 1111. It was like so many times. I'm in the car, I'm driving, I'm somewhere, I'm with my son, I'm in the kitchen. 1111, 1111. I'm like, okay. I almost never say make a wish anymore because last year all my wishes came true, and it was like, I don't want to be greedy. I don't need to make a wish on 1111. I make shit happen, right? This year, I was like, it's just a silly little thing. Like, and I wanted my son to be part of it. And I'm like, hey, it's 1111, make a wish. So for like a week, 1111, 1111, 1111. And then I didn't notice. I just knew it was 1111, right? I just knew. I look back at it and I know that I had been seeing it so many times, but I didn't think anything of it. And then the other day, all of a sudden, I had made a commission. So I made $1,000. Just don't know from who. I don't know how it happened. It's like, boom, I got an email, made $1,000. I'm like, heck yeah. Were you going to say something?
No.
Okay. So then I'm on TikTok, okay? Because this has been a disgusting habit I've had lately. Scrolling TikTok, which is why I have fish tanks now. And all of my TikTok feed right now is showing me stuff that has to do with marine life and people just swimming through the water, hunting for treasures, like sharks coming up, like everything, fish tanks, saltwater, all of it. That's all I see ever. I don't see anything else. I don't see any business content like I should be looking at. I don't see anything else. And that night, a video popped up and it said, the video had 1111 right on the screen. And it said, if you're seeing numbers in these sequences and this and that, it means that you are vibrating so strong on something that you want so bad. And that's the universe reacting to your vibrations. And they're telling you like, hey, we're hearing you. We're getting you what you want, what you need. And I thought it was so crazy that video popped up when I wasn't looking at anything that was related to it, and it had 1111 specifically on it, right? So I was like, huh, like 1111, and then I had been seeing 1111 for like a good week. It was super cool.
Whoa. I'm getting a lot of, I don't know how to explain it, but when I meditate and I connect to to source, I get like this weird, like freaking tingling sensation on my head when I'm like meditating and communicating, and it is fucking like grabbing my attention right now. It's weird.
Wow.
Yeah. I've never had that on a podcast like happen before.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is like affirming that everything that you're saying is true. It's just like
So this gets even better, right? So so my story is not. So when I saw that video and I started realizing that the 1111 was like everywhere in my life in the last week, and then boom, I was hit with like 4 figures in a day. I thought about when I first started making a lot of money online. I had gone viral, I think, on Instagram, and another one of the top affiliates sent me a message, and she sent me a screenshot, and she's like, Jill, look at all your videos. And I'm like, there's all my videos. I said, I don't know what you're showing me. And she said, look at all of the repetitive numbers in there. And it wasn't even like I had a lot of views on so many of them, but it was like 222 views and, like 444 views. And she started telling me about these angel numbers. And I'm like, I seriously have never heard of this in my life. And she's like, it's a good thing. And I'm like, oh, well, what does it mean? And she said, it means something good is happening or something good is coming to you. And I'm like, okay, whatever. Well, then the very next month, I made $47,000. So she was dead right that something good was coming, and something good did come. So I thought about all that, right? That's great. Then, probably because I watched that video on TikTok, I'm scrolling, and then another video popped up that totally blew my mind. It said, if you are feeling, and I wish I had all 3 of them, I don't remember what they all were, but it was, if you are feeling, if you've been feeling like sad, I think it was, if you've been feeling sad more lately than normal, if you have been feeling alone, and he hit 3 or 4 points, and they're like every single thing. The whole last week was like that. I'm like, holy crap, because this year for sure, I've been feeling like I haven't really been hanging out with a lot of friends per se. Like I just work. I don't even have a job anymore that I go to see people. Like I jump on a call with you. I sometimes see my family on the weekends, but I haven't actually gone out with any friends. And my son, I used to be able to send him somewhere on Fridays, and I don't anymore. So now it's like on a Wednesday that I have the night off, but I don't go out drinking on a Wednesday because I don't want to be hungover for the next day.
Yeah.
So yeah, all these emotional things that he hit every single one on the head, and I'm like, holy crap. It was directed at me specifically. And he said it meant that something like a big change was coming my way. A big positive change was on its way. And I was like, all right, that's cool, because that was, I figured, part of why I made the money, and, that things are going in the right direction, even though they feel like they're at a low point right now. And I was like,
yeah,
hell yeah, this is cool. So I thought that was really, really interesting. I don't normally get super into that stuff at all, especially the angel numbers. When that person told me about him, I was like, cool, that sounds great. And then I never looked at him again.
Yeah, God, that's beautiful. That is so beautiful.
Have you had any real specific experiences like that?
Boy, have I, Jill. I am definitely if I were to share truly how connected I am with the universe, a lot of you would probably unsubscribe. It's just I have definitely, numerology numbers, angel numbers are definitely one key aspect to how I make decisions throughout my day. So for example, one that I see a lot is 444, so 444, 4,444, things like that, just a lot of fours. And You have to look them up though, because every pair has a different significance. And for 444, I just pulled it out because I didn't want to say it incorrectly. Some of the takeaways from those angel numbers is that it's a sign of the divine that your guardian angels are watching over and they're guiding you, especially during times where you're working hard toward your goals and the universe is in alignment to manifest your desires. So it's just because being an entrepreneur, right? We know, like you just said, you were feeling sad, you were feeling alone. I have definitely been feeling that way because of change, resistance, learning how to put boundaries up. I miss my wife. God, do I miss my wife so much? And so, these numbers are just that reminder. The desires, the universe. The way that I've been told is the universe is winking at you with angel numbers. They're just giving you a little wink, like, hey, like, we got you. And so when every time I have like this urge to look at the time for whatever reason, and it's like, oh, 4:44, and it's like, okay, my guides are telling me that they got my back, and to just trust. So whether you believe in it or not, like, that's up to you, but doesn't it just like give you that bit of hope?
Yeah. That made me look up 1111.
Mm-hmm.
1111,
that is a power number.
Powerful. Yeah, powerful and creative, representing new beginnings, leadership, and spirituality.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if we want to go down this route, but I'll be quite vulnerable for a sec here. I grew up Catholic, and I grew up believing in God, and etc. And it was around like maybe like the age around
feeling guilty about everything.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, hey, like, go confess. And we could do like an entire like season on the confessions of being Catholic, being gay, and like just the way that I grew up. God, it was such a rough time for me being a teenager and having all these questions and going through. Oh man, it gets really bad. But anyway, I was like, I closed my third eye like around the age of 15 or 16 because of the way that I was like treated and disowned by my family for being gay. And I was like, science is real, religion doesn't exist, like, none of this is real. And then I went into college, and I got freaking Charles Darwin tattooed on my forearm. It doesn't tell you like how like strict I was with like science and and this spirituality stuff. And here I am with my freaking crystals over here, and I was just like always saying like, that's not real frequencies. Like, I just was like so closed off because of the damage that it happened, to the point that when I started reconnecting and started meditating and started opening, started seeing shit, started hearing stuff, started playing around with something called like the Akashic record, stuff like that, everything changed for me. And I even like broke down because I was so sad that I was robbed from feeling so connected from the universe. Doesn't matter if you believe like a religion or not, but spirituality alone is like that vessel that is probably missing in your life. Because once I started like opening that path to spirituality again, of really just figuring myself out and who I am as a human, as a soul, oh my God, the healing just began. But it changes how you show up, because you realize if everything is frequency and everything is based on vibration, which AKA are your thoughts, how am I going to show up differently today? Because what's the alternative, Jill? You don't believe, so you wake up mad, you wake up angry, you're fucking stressed, and you just don't care. And whereas the alternative being like, just what if? What if it's real? What if all this woo-woo stuff is real?
Yeah, just being conscious of it and how your words are going to come out and your thoughts are in there. And
boy, gotta tell you, for me, it's been such a wild year. I know I told you some stuff last time off the record because it's super woo-woo. It just keeps getting deeper and deeper. But God, it's beautiful.
Hopefully Mel stays on this planet for a while so we can keep doing the podcast.
Oh man, I look forward to the day that more people talk about it.
I was also raised Catholic and realized that you literally are taught to feel guilty about like
Yeah,
all of your feelings
everything.
and everything. Yeah, so yeah, that was didn't vibe with me after a certain age, but there is something to be said, and I definitely am not here to influence any kind of religion or non-religion to anybody, but it's just that higher power
Yeah,
is it could be God for you, it could be the universe, it could be it's whatever choose to believe it is. I think
yeah. It's the same
it's
thing.
all very similar. Yes.
It's the same
Just
thing. Yeah. For a long time, the word God used to be a trigger for me because I
yeah.
immediately just correlated it to religion, right? And again, like Joe said, we're not here to like sway you anyway. If anything, that's the beauty of free will. That is the beauty
Hmm.
of free will. That you get to decide what is true to you. And
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I have as a knowing is that we are souls. And what science has done and religion has done, in my opinion, is separated mind, body, and soul. But we're all three in one, and that's what makes us who we are, is our soul. And what science has done is like, you know, completely excluded the fact that you are. And we've talked about this before, right? With Reiki healing and like energy and the chakras. And that is like complete woo stuff for people. But that science. So, like, for those of you that are like, what the heck are you talking about? This is the only example I'll give. But in what biology would say is you have your glands, like your adrenal glands, your thyroid glands, etc. But what spirituality would say, like the chakras, is it's exactly the chakras. Every chakra correlates with a gland or nerve bundles in your body. So it's
Hmm.
technically the same thing, but it's the approach is different,
Yeah.
right? So what happens when you combine the both of them? You just open your mind, like, oh, beautiful things are happening.
And for
Just
me, at some point, I was like, when I started. I mean, I guess it's when you're understanding anything, but when I started to understand a lot more of this universe and the power of attraction and the vibrations and all that stuff, and I think about it, I'm like, man, there's so many people that have already known about this, and this is how,
yeah,
like, this is just like some little secret
it
thing that
is.
they've known about, but then they sound like crazy people if they try and preach it to anybody. So it's really, unless you're going to them and asking for the information, they don't just supply it. And so when I notice, if I bring it up, I am conscious of who I'm talking to about it, because I don't just
Yeah.
willy
Oh.
nilly go have a conversation with whoever about it. I gotta know that that person is, going to be receptive to it and not just look at me like I totally lost my mind. But once
100%.
you do open your mind to it and you do understand it, it is so freaking powerful, and it's so
You know,
awesome.
we're saying opening your mind, but really it's opening your heart. It really is opening your heart to
Yeah.
it because you're coming from a place of non-judgment. And I think that a lot of us have judgment behind everything because our ego, which if you call your ego the protective mind, which is what I've been learned to just call it, like if the ego shows up or it was like, oh, my protective personality is showing up, it's trying to protect me. Like, why is this happening? It's always from a judgmental place. But if you approach something and you show up not from the mind, but with the heart, then it's from a place of compassion. Like, what if I decided to just open my heart to this law of attraction, right? It's a law of the universe. It's a law. The secret, though, Jill, that a lot of people don't share is you have to feel it first. You have to feel it before you believe it. Then you'll see it. And I think a lot of people, that's where they struggle. Because I'll have people say like, oh, like I worked on my vision board and I put, cut up all these magazines, like bought ink and bought new paper and like, did all the cutting and pasted in. I have, my vision board, and then they expect for it to come reality. And it's like the sprinkle that you're missing is you need to feel it so that you can believe it. And I think a lot of people struggle with that.
The day that I made that $1,000, and like I've made $1,000 in a day, like so many times, right? I've made more than that in a day, but this day, it was in the morning. I'm like, I'm gonna make $1,000 today. Like it's happening today. I just feel it, and it wasn't even me trying to manifest any money or anything. It wasn't any of that. I was just like, I don't give a shit right now. I just have this feeling and it's coming to me. And then it was 10:30 at night. I was in bed and my phone, it must have been 10:20 something because my phone shuts down at 10:30. But I saw like the phone lit up. I looked over and it was like, congratulations, $1,093 or whatever it was. I'm like,
that's beautiful.
Fuck yeah. I knew it was coming. Yeah. And it came. And yeah, it's just this particular $1,000 is so crazy how all the signs, like all of it,
everything was there.
They're just there. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a reminder to tell you that you were vibrating and you were functioning from that right place. And it's just that reminder to stay grounded, because a lot of people might have heard that like you need to stay grounded. And what that means is a lot of it, like anytime you manifest, right, it's from like up here. Right? Like, you start putting out the energies from up here, but you need to stay grounded, meaning like you need to stay in your body. You need to make sure that I spend a lot of time up here. I spend a lot of time up here. So I've been working a lot on getting grounded. And I know we've talked about this before in like our older chats, but a lot of us would talk about like certain feelings we get and we already know we made a commission. Like, and I'm like that too. I know I made money. Like, I know I got emails that said, congrats, like you made X amount. And then I just start smiling and start laughing. And then I go check and sure enough, like it's in there every single time.
Yeah.
Every time. That's how connected we
crazy.
are.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. We command it though. Another thing. And like, here's another thing. A lot of you that are listening are just not ready to understand. And that's just because you haven't unlocked that part of your journey as a human yet. Because a lot of this stuff isn't new. You've heard it before, but your ears are truly not ready to hear our words. It's just a frequency thing. So, and if you're hearing it, you're like, oh my God, like I want to know more. Like I can't stop listening. Then that means your soul is like, oh, you're ready. Take it in, take it in, take it in. And you need to command it, meaning like you need to own it. Like I command, like in this reality that I am, and then like I have my statements written up there, and like you have to feel it, believe it, envision it, and then move on. Don't keep coming back and then like saying it like 10 times, or don't keep checking your email multiple times, because now you're functioning from a place of scarcity.
Yeah.
The opposite of abundance is scarcity. And it works just the same. If you're like, oh, dang, I have to pay my mortgage. Oh, I just got paid and I just spent my entire paycheck. How you show up when you spend your money is what you're going to attract. So what I do is like, I have no bills. I am so happy and grateful that I just paid my team. And I put it on there. I know I am running a profitable business and have no bills. That's literally what I have written down. And I look at it every single day.
Love it.
Yeah. Because how you transfer energy, which is money, is how it's going to come around. So I don't spend money, I circulate it. Phew. That's just an extra golden nugget for those of you that are ready for it.
So, like, being ready for it and everything, I remember when I was first starting to, like, get into more mindset stuff, I was trying to get it. I was trying to understand it, but it took a little bit. And it took a couple different people, me listening to different people, till finally I was like, yeah. But yeah, now where I'm just like, I know the power of being able to just put that vibration out there, and it
Yeah.
freaking worked. That was the harder one for me to understand. So another
Your
top
vibration.
affiliate, yeah, she says it so many times, and she's like, it's your vibration and this and that, and she'll leave me these little voice memos and give me these little golden nuggets, and I'm like, yeah, like I understand what she's saying, but I can't fully grasp it. But
Yeah.
until it kind of you're almost kind of practicing it, and then when stuff starts happening, you're like, that was the vibration, I was putting that out there, and then
Yeah.
you start getting it a little bit more.
Yeah.
So for you guys listening, my biggest takeaway for this, whether you can understand what we're even talking about fully, whether you still are listening, or if you
You're like, this is not it.
sign up.
Boy.
But what I said in the beginning, maybe it'll inspire or motivate you. It's keep moving forward and keep working toward your goal and what you want. And you'll keep putting out those good vibes, and the universe knows you're doing it, and then one day it's going to show up, and you're going to be like, oh, okay, yes, it's working. And I know sometimes it's hard when you're not getting the signs yet. Keep going, keep going. And one last thing that I did want to say about this, Mel, is that the same friend that's leaving me these voice memos of wisdom, and you know who I'm talking about when I say wisdom.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
She always, I'll tell her, like, this is happening, and I don't know, whatever. I'll call her with my own insecurities or asking for help, and she always says, Jill, you need to do money-making activities. I'm not saying go out and make 50 reels to try and make money off your reels. Money-making activities, whether that's listing a backpack on Facebook Marketplace. Like, it could be anything that's a money-making activity to put out that vibration to the universe that knows you want to make money, right? Here's what happened the day that I made the 4 figures the other day. I was going through all these emotions of don't have a lot of friends at the moment, I feel like, and then I don't have this, and stuff was feeling sad. And I'm like, okay, stuff that makes me happy and stuff that my wisdom friend keeps telling me to do, money making activities. And that day I think I had listed 2 things that have been sitting in my house forever. The backpack, Mel.
Wow.
I listed them on Facebook Marketplace right in the morning, just trying to get them out of my house. And later that day, I made 2 Amazon influencer videos. Didn't post them, but I recorded them. And then I was like feeling good because I was doing things that were productive toward making money. And I think that was that last little bit for that day that the universe just needed. And it was like, boom, okay, here you go. Here's your little gift. It's crazy.
Yeah.
If you look at all these little points.
It is. Your wish is your command. Your wish is your command. Know that you know that you know. And just put it out there. And if you understood what I meant by that, is really, really command into your existence the life that you want. Things will shift, things will move, things will happen. However, be prepared for things to happen in a way that you least expect it. Don't attach an expectation to the how. That's the mistake people make, is how am I going to get there? Don't worry about the how. That's the secret sauce. Mm-hmm. Let the universe handle the how. You focus on feeling it, walking it, envisioning it, and let it go. Trust that the universe is literally like, you gave the universe the ingredients. It's like, I want this in my life. I want this, this, and this. I know it. I feel it. I believe it. I command it. Let it do the cooking. Let it do the cooking and check in with yourself. If you have to do it every hour, every 3 hours, set alarms. Like, how do I feel right now? Do I still believe that I'm in alignment with what I desire? Oh, I'm stressed out. I'm angry. Boom. You have to do all the work again to get yourself back into that frequency of vibration of abundance. That's just how it is. So every day you have to put yourself in that. And you know what's the fastest way that gets people there? Gratitude. Gratitude is the secret ingredient. Every time I go for my gratitude walks, guaranteed income, like guaranteed. Gratitude, love, compassion. Those are the secrets behind everything.
Every time I stop myself from running out to a saltwater fish store, I am so grateful.
Yeah, it really is the secret sauce. Every spiritual leader, every single one of them tells you that. You have to be in the vibration of gratitude. I was going to say something similar.
I was going to say, yeah, like I've said before, every time before we go to bed, I lay down with my son and I make him give me 3 things that he is grateful for. And sometimes it's a struggle and he says nothing. And I'm like, oh, really? Okay, what about this? He's like, oh, yeah, that. And then this. And then and sometimes he gets in there and he just rattles it off and then tells me I need to give mine 3 now. And
just one last golden nugget here. Every time I make a decision, every time you take an action, there always has to be an intention behind it, either whether you're aware of it or not. Every time you're taking an action, there's a reason why. So if you can start asking yourself, am I doing this from a place of abundance, or am I doing this from a place of scarcity? Because sometimes you start taking actions that actually may derail you because it's from a place of scarcity. Whereas if you're taking those actions from a place of abundance, like I love giving free information away, like I absolutely love it. I do it from a place of abundance. If I then, do, like, I'm going to give away all these free resources, and then I have an expectation, now I'm acting from a place of scarcity. And the more you start inventory, which has an effect again on your manifestations, just start taking inventory, like, oh, am I doing this from a place from my heart, like compassion, love, abundance, or am I doing this from a place of the ego, of scarcity? And because I expect something. The moment you expect something, that's how you know it's from the place of the mind and not the heart. So that's just like a very advanced golden tip for you guys to start feeling your intention behind your actions, because the feeling is the secret sauce.
We thank you so much for joining us today, and we hope to see you again on the next Bigger Room podcast.
If you stayed until the end, make sure to give us a 5-star review or share this with somebody who you think can enjoy it. We'll see you in the next episode.